Andy, Blue Collar Corner. We're here in Queens, post-election night, and I'm here with Dan Halloran, Councilman. Dan, how are you tonight?
I'm doing well. The statewide candidates are doing fantastic right now. Wilson is up in the controller's race. Schneiderman and Donovan are neck and neck. I'm thrilled to see it. Across the United States, we're seeing Republican candidates win left, right, and center. I think we only lost two of them that we were hoping to win. One up in Connecticut and one in Delaware, but people like Rand Paul won in Kentucky. We've got some great wins up and down the coast. It's looking really good. The House of Representatives is clearly going to be become Republican. Right on the line for the Senate to go Republican. I think it's a tremendous night.
Now, Dan, on a national front, do you think that Obama will maybe come to the center now, or do you think this will isolate himself even more?
Well, look, I think he's going to have no choice but to move to the center. You have a House that's going to be pretty evenly split, because even if the Senate remains in Democratic hands, it's going to be a 1 or 2 seat majority for them. Clearly, the House is going to go overwhelmingly Republican tonight, and that's going to force the president to move to the center. Also, it looks like in the governor's races that are in play right now, the majority of them will go to Republicans, which is going to be a tremendous boost for the Republican Party. Of course, we're concerned with New York right now. I'm glad to see that the AG race is as tight as it is, and the controller race, it actually has Wilson in the lead right now, which is fantastic. Upstate New York apparently has voted fairly heavily, much more so than normal. It'll be interesting to see how this breaks out in the state Senate races and the Assembly races.
Dan, even though we're in a very liberal state, you and I both know things happen first world, and you and several of your other councilmen came in, Republican guys, I believe it was 5 of these, came in and just knocked them right down. Do you think that maybe we're kind of a turning point, maybe New York is ready to go with more of a centrist, right-leaning sort of government?
Well, no, I think what's going on is that rightly, the people in the state of New York want balance. They want two sides to actually dialogue. We had much better policies when it was an upper house controlled by the Republicans, the lower house controlled by the Democrats, because you had to talk about things. You had to discuss things, and both sides had to come and be open and transparent. In fact, in 07, there was the transparency rules written on the budget process. Those were, of course, thrown out this year and last year when the Democrats controlled both houses. But I think this is just an opportunity for all New Yorkers to look and say, hey, listen, we just need reasonable government, whatever side it is. Now, in this time out, it's going to benefit the Republicans generally, because the Republicans aren't the party of power. They can't be blamed for what's going on right now. Clearly, there's one party in power, and there's a lot of anti-incumbent sentiment, and that's something that we've got to worry about, because it's sort of uncontrolled in the sense that it's against all incumbents, whether they're doing a good job or not doing a good job. And I'm sure there'll be some backlash, even in Republican areas, upstate and maybe out on in New Jersey and Connecticut, where incumbents have been doing a good job, but unfortunately they're going to be victims to this anti-incumbent strike. Look, I think this election isn't going to be a watermark for anything locally. I think it's a watermark for Congress, and I think that's going to be where the most impact is going to be.
Now, do you feel like maybe Obama's gotten like this kind of restraining order, especially with the loss of the House?
Well, I think it sends a message, and the message is he's gone too far. And the people, 55% of them say that health care should be repealed. I mean, that's tremendous.
Do you agree with that?
I don't know how they would go about repealing it, given the dynamics of what's going on procedurally. Senate and Republican hand, Congress and Republican hand, Senate either close to or not quite 50-50. So procedurally, I don't think they're able to do the override, the override presidential veto. What they can do is defund it, take it apart, and start stripping down the nuts and bolts of it until it gets to a much more reasonable place. I think that's where we have to start. And our attorney generals in many states are going forward with their lawsuits and challenging the constitutionality. I think that's another place that they'll make some inroads.
Well, I know you're in rush, and I appreciate your time. One last thing, we're going to have a new governor. Now, this governor has got some very nefarious connections to Mr. Parkins, and it seems like the press just has not addressed this issue at all, and I can't believe why. Are you familiar with this association?
Yeah, I am. But, here's the thing. Andrew Cuomo has been given a pass throughout this entire campaign. None of the hard questions that you ask have been asked Mr. Cuomo. How do you take the Working Families Party line after your agency had investigated them? How do you go about putting yourself in the same boat as the people who supposedly are the architects of the aqueduct scandal? I mean, this is the people who are backing our future governor. Andrew Cuomo, and I think it sends a very chilling message. And the message is people can talk about being reform candidates without being reform candidates, and our press is not going to hold their feet to the fire, and that's a shame. Once upon a time, the press actually held politicians' feet to the fire, pulled them on their bluffs, and was willing to say, "Hey, listen, you are or you aren't, but we're gonna look at your record, we're gonna look at the history, we're gonna make a decision that's genuine." And I don't think that the media has done that, and that's a shame because in the end, we're all going to be losers when we're not getting the right information out there. When people like Andrew Cuomo can say, "I'm an Albany outsider," when he was the HUD secretary responsible for the failure of the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac situations and the mortgage crisis, when his father was the governor and he grew up in the governor's mansion, he ran his father's last campaign for governor. How do you call yourself an outsider? I just don't see how anybody can talk about him as being either moderate on those issues or an outsider.
What's next?
What's next is I'm going to get back to the cabinet headquarters. I'm going to continue to tally the numbers. I'm going to continue to serve my council district, do what I need to do to make sure my citizens get represented, and hopefully down the road we're going to find some bigger and better things to do to make sure we get our point across.
We need men like you out there, Dan. Thank you so much for your time. God bless.